Hello, everyone.
Hello, do you need me to move that? You got it okay?
I think so.
Okay. You
It has to go so far over to center us. That's weird.
Oh, here, is that better? Maybe we can
Sure.
back it up. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that works. Hi, everyone. We're just
Hello.
adjusting our
You
accoutrements.
could have done it before, but now we'll do it at the beginning so you can enjoy the process.
Yes. So, like I said, I've colored my hair.
Yes, you got new hair. She has to show it off.
I did like a home version.
Oh, I was wondering what you had done. I was just
Yeah.
assumed you'd gone to the salon.
I did not go to the salon this time. There was budget.
Budget cuts this year. I get that. Yes, I know.
But I want to embrace my gray, but I was just like,
It was just too much.
it was too much, and I want, like, by the time this kind of comes out, my gray will probably have taken over more. I'm going gray, so I'm okay with that. I'm actually more white haired than.
Yeah, you are.
I think that's why the color took so well to
Well,
it.
because it was it's
You know,
pale.
those blue haired Bettys.
Yes, I'm totally gonna be a blue-haired Betty. I'm excited to go gray and be like, yeah, let's do all the
But
colors.
like, it's even better if you go white.
I know. I'm
because
hoping
then-
I get white like you guys because I also have like blonde roots still. Like
Yeah.
my roots are really naturally light,
Yeah, they are.
so I'm hoping that means
that you might go
I
white.
might go white. Fingers crossed.
Hmm.
Fingers crossed. Even if I don't go all white and I have sparkles, I'll still do the color because it will still
yeah.
add like a nice
Yeah.
aspect
I mean,
to
for a
it.
while there, some of the girls were deliberately dyeing their hair gray.
Yeah, I
You
did.
know, or
I did gray.
silver,
I
as
did
they-
gray.
Yeah.
I liked the gray on me. I thought it was a nice color.
it can be very nice for the skin tone.
Yeah,
And when you get to a certain age, you've got to stop using color.
you do. It makes you look older.
It does
sometimes.
make
I
you
mean,
look
to
older.
each their own. Do whatever makes you happy. What
Yeah,
makes you
yeah,
feel your
absolutely. But if you are trying to make yourself look younger, color is not always the way to go.
best. No, I loved.
Sometimes,
My skin looked great when I went gray. I was like, God, my skin looks
Yeah.
so nice.
Gray
Wow.
can look really nice on skin.
Sometimes almost too pale. So like, if you're really into the too pale, maybe if you're like goth or into that kind of deathly look, that's a good color to
The
go
90-year-old goth.
for. Yeah, I'll go full goth once I get gray hair. I haven't colored my hair. I'm getting my hair cut next Tuesday.
Okay.
I haven't gotten my hair cut in over a year and a half, maybe two, maybe pushing two.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I haven't cut my hair in a while. It's probably been not quite a year, but
It's been a long time. I really should cut my hair more often.
me too.
It's healthier for your hair. Your hair will grow longer.
Exactly.
But my hairstylist is going on maternity leave again.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, I better get my hair cut now. So then when she comes back, then I can get back done again.
Yeah.
So hold
Yeah.
on, because me and the kids are all getting our haircut. Lucy's more just getting the illusion of a haircut.
Yeah. She just likes to be included.
She just wants to be, and that's why I told the hairstylist, I'm like, she doesn't really need a haircut. Her hair is like, grows really slow. It's kind of shorter. It takes forever to grow.
like watching paint dry.
Oh my god, it's so slow. And like she definitely has more hair. Like I was looking at some pictures of her as a baby. She does have more hair, and I've noticed
Yeah.
even now it's longer and thicker than it used to be.
Oh, good.
So hopefully maybe it starts to pick up for how fast that girl grows. Otherwise,
Yeah,
her
yeah.
hair it's all
She
for-
puts it all in
Yeah,
the body and
yeah.
arms and legs.
the
and
hair
stuff.
it got forgotten. The hair is forgotten. So, and she put up her hair. She's like the tiniest little ponytail. And I'm
Aww.
like, I mean, but,
Whereas Annabelle,
Yeah.
you're like.
I know it's like this big. Like I even cut it a year ago, and it's still just like this big luscious. She grows it like she grew as much hair that Lucy has now in her head in a year from what her haircut. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But,
well,
yeah.
You know, some people are blessed with lots, and some are
are
not.
no.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, my sister Kimber has really thick, luscious
Yeah,
hair too.
she's got like.
But I mean, there's pros and cons to both.
I was just say there are pros and cons. Like Lucy's hair is a lot easier to brush through because she's got finer hair.
Yeah.
Than Annabelle. Annabelle has like a lot of hair, thick hair, coarse hair. Lucy has a lot of hair, shorter hair, fine hair.
Slow growing hair.
Slow growing hair, and they're both curly. But Lucy hair, she's not as tough skulled though. So so they did their hair yesterday after their baths, and Annabelle just was like, oh, that kind of hurts because their hair was messy from March break. This was
right,
like,
right, yeah.
And so like I was combing out some more tangles than usual, and she's like, oh, that hurts, and like, but was fine, sat still,
Yeah.
was okay, maybe a couple of tears. Lucy, on the other hand, despite her hair being like a quarter of the length,
Right.
immediately like no, to the point where I had to hold her down almost so that we can be like,
Pinner and then
yeah,
brush her hair.
Well, because she kept trying to go like this. I'm like, well, I can't brush your hair if you
Yeah.
cover your head.
Yeah, exactly.
So poor I had to kind of like try like, you know, gently like wrestle her.
Wrap
so-
her in a towel like a cat.
We
right?
should have done that. It's like the neighbors are gonna think we're killing you, and all I'm trying to do is just brush
Brush her hair.
brush your hair, just trying
Yeah.
to keep you clean.
Well, I mean, Annabelle was born under the sign that she was meant to be born under because she knew she was going to have this luscious hair
Yeah,
and need to have the patience of a saint.
I know.
and
It's paid off well in many
Yeah,
situations
yeah.
for her.
well, I know when I was younger, Mom always kept our hair long, right?
Yeah,
And she would drag that brush right through our hair. And of course, having fine hair,
you tangle so easily.
Oh
you
my
just
God.
look at fine hair wrong, and it's tangled.
yeah, exactly. So, like
It's
my
so
nana
annoying.
used to say, "Oh, the fairies have been in your hair again, making little nests."
I know. In the winter's the worst. I always get like at the back, 'cause of course you're wearing
Yeah.
more sweaters and your scarves and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, put my hair down. I'm like, why is it
Like
puffy?
you look like a homeless
like,
person
huh.
because they're all matted.
Oh my god, I know. And like sometimes I'll wake up in the morning, it's like, like, what?
Yeah, me too.
What is that? What fashion design did I do back there while I was
It's like I can't
sleeping?
get my hair to thicken up and look stood up
I know.
unless I've slept on it.
I know, right?
It's like straight up.
And then my hairstyle's like, oh, you have some damage here at the back.
Yeah,
and I'm
no
like,
shit.
yeah. Well, that's she's like, try a silk pillowcase. The one time I tried a silk pillowcase, I kept doing this.
Oh, I have
Like-
silk pillowcases, and they
I-
help. And I bought some of those silk caps
I have to get the silk caps, but for some reason, I don't know what it is about my head.
that just wants to slide.
Well, I've had because of course the kids wear bonnets.
Yeah.
And I've had bonnets and I've had silk pillows, but every time it's like they just slip off me. Like it's water washing. Like if it's a pillowcase, I'm sliding off of it all night. Like I can't.
Well, what I
stay
love
on it.
about the silk pillowcases is all I have to do is turn it. Like I don't have to flip it even.
It's cool.
It's always cool.
I did
And
like that,
It's
but
like in the summer it was like, oh thank God.
The
I mean, it
coolness-
warms up too.
yeah,
but-
eventually it does warm up. I agree. The coolness was nice, but I couldn't physically stay on it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
You're
I don't know
sliding.
what I'm doing when I'm sleeping, but it was just like.
Oh, really?
I'd wake up and I'd be like off the pillow, off the bed because
Maybe it's the pillow because I've got one of those bamboo pillows that's really stiff.
I had one of those. I put it on that one. I had
And
like a
it's
memory
still-
foam one, and I still was like.
Oh, okay.
And then
okay.
I tried the bonnet, and when I not only would I fall off my pillow that didn't have a silk pillowcase,
Okay.
but it would fall off my head.
Yeah, what are you doing in your
I
sleep?
don't know. I don't know.
Oh, the other night, you know how I'm a pillow stealer when I
Yes.
wake, like,
Yes.
I'm not even awake, but I will steal pillows from my husband.
Can you got it?
Yeah. So I've been known to steal pillows right out from
Right
under.
over. Whoop.
The other night, I stole my own pillow. I obviously grabbed it and pulled it, and I was like, I woke up like, what the fuck? Where's my pillow? And then I saw that I was holding it. It's like,
Vengeance against myself for all these years. Finally got you. Oh my god, that's so funny. I'm not much of a stealer of anything. Except for bed space, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
if Miranda leaves the bed, I sleep diagonally. So as
Oh,
soon as
yeah.
he leaves the bed, I'll be like, from this to this.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, it's awful if he's like DJing.
oh, and
And
you've
he come-
fallen
And
asleep.
fall asleep because he'll come in and he's like, he has to squeeze himself in the little wedge. That's
a little
left.
triangle
The little
that's left.
triangle. And he's like so much longer than me. So he's like,
Yeah. His legs are dangling from the knees down.
right? He sleeps at the wall, so he's like tough.
Oh,
He can't even. He tries to shove me over, but sometimes it doesn't work. Ayanda though is a blanket hog,
oh, is he?
especially with his feet. He's really bad in the winter, where he has this habit of wrapping himself.
Oh, okay.
But just his feet. He doesn't like his feet being cold. So then I'll wake up and be like, and I'll have like my top half will be covered. I'm like, why am I so cold?
But the bottom half
And
is
then I'm
like,
like,
oh my god.
oh, he's taken all the other blankets. So then I'm like yanking the blanket. Anyways.
Yeah, your father and I solved that problem by we each have our own quilt.
Let's see, yes.
I think I was the one that was the blanket hog that I
Oh,
would
that you
roll
would just-
over and
Oh,
take all the blanket with me.
So not only you're a pillow hog, but you're a blanket hog. At least
Yes.
there's some balance. At least I'm like only a bed hog, and he's only a blanket hog.
But yeah, when we started sleeping with our own quilts in the same bed and everything,
Yeah.
it was a game changer.
That's true. I can see
Because
that.
then you're not thinking like when you share a blanket, as romantic as that is, you get worried about like if I shift this way, is it going to affect the other person? Now it's just like I shift whichever way I want, kind of
We
thing.
usually try to get blankets that are like a lot bigger,
Yeah, like king size.
king
kinda.
size,
Yeah.
so that way we know like okay. There's still some issues, so sometimes I have to kick Ian and be like, "Give me the goddamn blanket."
Well,
back. But
yeah, because
it doesn't happen as much now because it's not as cold. But
Yeah,
it's usually like when it's really cold and it's got
Yeah.
sons of baby.
Because when we
feet.
get a hotel room, like Papa's had to do some business stuff
yeah
over the last
go on
few
trips
months
and stuff.
and go on trips, I always try to make sure we have a king size bed.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. It's,
Oh my god,
it's shocking how much more room it is.
Yeah, it's like look at all this space.
I know.
I can starfish.
Well, that's funny
and
too
so
because
can
we
you.
have a queen size bed, so you think like, I can't be that much bigger. I have a
but
queen.
it is.
I know. When I went on a trip, I was like, "What? Look at all this space!
Yeah. Like you can lie on it, and I was like, I can't even touch you.
It's like, we could add extra people here
Yeah,
if we wanted. I mean,
exactly.
we wouldn't, but we could."
Exactly. No wonder that's where people have sex parties.
Yeah, gotta have a king size. Well, then and I could imagine what a California king is.
Yeah,
It's a
because
king-
that's supposed to be bigger, right?
That's supposed to be bigger. That's supposed to be
Yeah.
gigantic.
Like how much room do you need?
I was just to say, like, I don't want to even. I don't want to. I want to be in bed with you, but pretend I'm not in bed with you. I want to not know that you are even in sleep with me. I feel like.
Well, I
that's-
do find that we sleep better in the king size bed, only because when one of us rolls around, it kind of wakes the other one up, and that sort of thing in the queen size. So it's like so we can roll around and not disturb each other. Plus, we don't have Bob.
So the
Bob-
animals don't sleep. That was Ina's rule. No animals in bed. So the
Well,
animals don't
that
come.
used to be the rule, but then Larry started sleeping on the bed because Papa would bring him up. So
There's-
then I couldn't say no to
course,
Lucy, my Great Pyrenees,
God,
because
that was a tight fit. Well,
she
yeah.
would look and be like, "But he's up there."
But
I'd be
the-
like, "Come on up." She only needed to be up there for a little bit.
And then she'd be like, "Okay, I'm good now."
Yeah, exactly. So Bob, of course, loved Larry, so he wanted to be with Larry because Bob loves male energy. So and Larry didn't like Bob. He tolerated Bob.
It's like, why do you have to be near me?
Yeah, he was totally like he'd give you the look like, "Oh, he's back again."
This fucker, just leave me alone.
Exactly. So then when Larry died, Bob was very upset.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
And so was Papa, because
that was his dog.
that was his dog. And this is the reason why he's like, I don't want to get another dog. It's like you're gonna fall in love again and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And going into a pet relationship that you will probably outlive the pet.
Yeah.
Depending. I mean, if it's a parrot,
I mean,
actually
yeah.
a lot of people will make you put it in your
You
will
only have to because
before
a lot
you
of times
can buy it.
Yeah. I was thinking of getting a bird.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why.
I've lived with birds, like outside of the farm.
Yeah.
I've had birds, and they're quite.
I mean, we don't have the space for it, but I think Ian wouldn't like it though. He's not a pet person.
Yeah.
He's like, they're here, and I'll take care of them. He's not a pet person.
Yeah, he's not like, oh, he doesn't oogle over.
No, it's all
Cats or
yeah,
dogs or
but
anything like
he's forced to be a pet person because everyone else in the house is a pet person.
Yeah. No, I'm glad the girls are growing up with pets.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a real loss if you don't.
Well, and you get responsibility, and like they know they have to feed them, and there's like
And
this
you learn how to
natural
be
empathy.
gentle.
Yeah.
And empathy. Yeah, exactly.
There's
exactly.
a lot of good responsibilities and just
So Bob
positives.
has since realized that Papa is male energy too.
Oh, he also has the male parts, does he?
So Bob loves Papa. Like as soon as Papa comes home, he goes to his desk and stuff like that where his computer is.
Yeah.
And Bob is right there. Hey, and you can hear Papa constantly, Bob, get out of the way. Bob, your tail's gonna get rolled over by the chair or whatever. It's like, get out of here. Wait until I'm sitting down.
And then you can come and just give me.
And then he goes to bed with Papa.
See, that's Bert. Bert is, well, all the animals follow me. They all follow me. I was like, they're always after you. Okay, animals always want to sit with me, but Bert in particular, he has this routine of like, because I usually go to bed a little bit earlier than Ida. So I get myself ready. Ida makes the bed. I go into the bed, and then he'll like, he sometimes has like some last work he needs to do, or he'll like put away dinner. I make dinner. That's why he puts away dinner.
Right.
So he
yeah.
puts away dinner. I make
That's
dinner.
fair.
And so usually he goes to bed like a little bit after me.
Okay.
So that's when Bert and I get time on the bed. So
Oh,
Bert,
yeah.
as soon as I go to the bathroom to start doing my bedtime routine, he's already like, meow, meow.
Right,
'Cause
right.
he's like, we're going to go into bed together.
Yeah.
We're going to snuggle together.
Yeah.
And he loves it. And he always hates when Ida comes in, though, because like, that means the time's over. Like,
Yeah.
he knows. And he'll do everything. But as soon as we get into the bedroom and I'm getting changed, he's like already on the bed, like flopping, constantly
Yeah.
getting up and flopping. Like, this is the best. We're going to snuggle together.
It's snuggle time.
Yeah. It's his favorite part of the day.
Aww.
We get like 20 to 30 minutes together, just the two of us.
Aw.
Snuggled in bed. It's his favorite part.
Aww.
I don't really do a
That's so
whole lot
cute.
because I usually read, so he just sits beside me.
Yeah, no, but they just love your company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's always like, oh, yes.
Yeah, because Bob often gets up at night with Papa, but he'll come and see me too.
Yeah.
Like, Bob comes to see me. Like, if I'm sitting in my chair, he'll get up on the arm and just,
Look at you.
oh, hello, what would you like? And he usually wants pets. I'm like, okay, I'll give you pets. And if I talk to him, I usually have to whisper, because if I talk, Myrtle is right there.
Oh,
and
she's
she's
like,
like-
oh, excuse me, this is mine. You
Yeah.
have your own.
Yeah,
Go away.
yeah, exactly. Like, she thinks I'm hers.
Oh.
And she loves the girly kind of energy because she loves to get up on my vanity and steal beauty products. And it was funny because at one point we had to empty out that room for whatever reason. I think I was rearranging something or whatever. And I put all my vanity stuff on the floor, and there was a container that had, it was like a jewelry box almost, but it had a bunch of my stuff, right? And Myrtle in the night had opened a lot of the drawers.
Oh, to see.
And she had taken out some things and taken some of it to her nest.
Oh.
But it was like she was picking through it going, no, this is crap.
I would never touch that. What is she
It
thinking?
was all high-end stuff that was in her nest.
Oh,
So-
of course. Like, no, I know this brand. This is a good one.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Exactly. It's just like that. And she likes to go into the craft room, which is where her nest is. And she likes to open a cupboard door and slam it closed and open it and slam it. And in the night you'll hear boom, boom, boom. It's like, Myrtle, stop opening the cupboards.
Oh my god, you should just get baby locks on them.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's a small thing.
yeah, I'm not complaining too much,
Yeah.
but it's just like, why is that her weird? Well, she has a lot of weird things,
It's
but
like
that's-
animals usually have weird stuff to
yeah,
do.
because she's not getting into the cupboard. She just likes the sound of opening and closing it.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And any new cupboard, she'll do that with.
I must just test the sound on this.
Yeah,
Ah, that's a good one. Or no.
because I got a new buffet a few years ago.
She had to test all the covers.
She had to test the cupboard drawers. She won't do drawers,
but just like
the cupboard
the
doors.
swinging door ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So she was testing that. I'm
That's
like,
funny.
really?
You have to.
That she likes to lick plastic bags.
That's, oh my god, that's Charles. Charles is a licker. And he'd chews on it. And all of a sudden you hear this.
Yeah,
You're like-
and it's them licking the
It's
bag
like,
or
what
chewing
the
on it.
hell is that noise? And then you'll go in the kitchen. There's Charles. You find the one piece of plastic we forgot to get rid of.
You know why that is?
Why?
Especially in plastic bags. I guess like, retail bags, they have a little bit of a animal oil on them to help them separate better. Like, not to the point where we can feel it, but cats have a better sense
Well,
of smell
yeah.
than even dogs.
Oh.
And they can smell it, so they're licking that.
I didn't know. I always wonder, like, why the beep? Because Charles.
Yeah,
Bert
it's
doesn't-
always plastic.
Bert
They
doesn't
love it.
really do it as much.
Right,
I've
right.
seen him occasionally, but he's not one. I have to be more mindful of like rubber elastics. He always lets it chew on rubber elastics. Like,
Oh.
you're gonna die if you get
Yeah,
that in your
Bob will
mouth.
bat those things around,
Oh.
and then he might bite them once in a while.
If Bert would just play with them, that'd be fine. But he's always like, and so now I put it in my body? No.
Now I
No.
eat this, right?
And then he'll be upset, like, why'd you take that away? Well, because it looked like you were about to eat it.
Well, I was going to eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the problem there? I don't understand the issue.
I thought that's what you do with those.
I play with it, and then I eat it, just
Yeah.
like mice, just like everything else.
And I play with it, I eat it. That's the rules. That's how you follow it. That's the steps. Play, eat. Play, eat.
It's like those videos where you see those dogs, especially Goldens, that will have stuff in their mouth.
Oh, they're like,
Yeah. And it's like, what do you have in your mouth? And they'll dump out like 3 socks or whatever.
Yeah. Why do you have? That's like, yeah, our one of the bus moms, like families or whatever,
Yeah.
has a new dog that's a puppy
Oh,
named Butters. He's obviously mixed between Great Pyrenees and probably like a golden retriever.
Oh, okay.
But he's a big boy. But he like the one time the dad was walking him and he got into old bananas. I was like, get that out of your mouth. It's like, ugh. First of all, why? It's like it's old because it was black.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's
that doesn't
obviously-
body them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
I know,
know.
covered in like dirt and salt from all the snow melting.
It's seasoned.
It's well seasoned. It's aged.
yeah, exactly.
It's the finest of
like a
banana
good
peel-
cheese.
I was gonna say it's the finest of banana peels you can get.
Exactly.
It was
At
so
that stage, you can eat the rind and all.
yeah. Oh, this is so gross. The dad's like, why the things I have to touch.
Yeah, right.
I
Yeah.
have to touch that. I'm like, yeah, kids and animals will make you touch things you never thought you'd have to touch in your entire life.
And tolerate liquids and things that you
And
thought
scents
you'd
and
never.
smells and textures and
Exactly.
the things you have to do.
Yeah, and remember when you were young, like in your early 20s, trying to impress people. So, you know, like no one poops at 20, right? You know, it's like,
What's pooping?
yeah, because you know it's too embarrassing, right? So, but then you become a mom and you're like, poop rules your world.
I know. I've
It's
never
like, did
seen
she poop? What was the texture of this
I know.
poop? When was the last time she pooped?
Well, that's exactly what I'm going through with animal right now. Like I'm always like, tell me when you pooped. You look at your poop. And how many times did you poop today? Was it like this? Did you poop at school? Did it look like this poop, or was it more? What did it look like? Was it hard? Was it hard to push? Did you have to poop and then you didn't poop?
Yeah,
It's like I've never had to have so many conversations about poop in my entire life until I became a mom.
yes. And it hasn't stopped. It's
It
like
hasn't
from
stopped.
day one too.
It's continued forever and ever. Unless like you're someone who like grew up with like obviously stomach issues or like IBS, where like obviously that's a part of your life.
Yes, exactly. I'm getting a lot of
You
spam
are
calls.
getting a lot of spam calls. You don't typically talk about poop so much in your life.
No, exactly.
I mean,
you,
I've
you're
always-
not sit down with your friend over
Talking
coffee,
poop, yeah.
going, "I pooped this morning. It was a great one.
There's a good one.
I felt really
I
good
will
afterwards."
say I was probably more of a poop talker because I was always a TMI with Ianta. I'm like, oh, I had a poop and it was just uncomfortable. And he's like, I need to know that. I'm like, well, that's what you get.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mark it down in my chart.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. You got to know so much about me. There are no secrets
And
at all.
I do that to Papa all the time because, of course, you know Papa doesn't like
He's
to
like
talk.
he's so sensitive. He's
And I'll
got
be-
such a sensitive
Sometimes
belly.
I'll joke around because he'll say I have to go to the bathroom, and I'll be like, number 1 or number 2, little of both. Like,
Yeah.
let
What
me
we're
know.
talking about. I know. Ianta does that too because he has this habit of like when he comes home from work, as all men do,
Yeah.
he has to go right to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Since you're in a certain type of business, I'm like, oh, you're going to poop? He's like, I have to go to the washroom. I'm like,
Yeah, they don't want to give the details.
and I'm like, so you're going to poop? And he's like, I'm just going to the washroom. I'm like, we'll time it. We'll see how long it takes.
Yeah, exactly. That was definitely a poop
That
visit.
was a poop one. We know.
Yeah.
We know. We try and hide it, but like, come on.
Yeah, can't keep it from us.
I find men are way more scheduled that way. Like they have a
They are, yeah, because Papa does the same thing.
It's like
I
this,
mean, I'm
like,
telling the
sched-
world is bowel movement habits, but,
TMI for everyone now. We all get to know.
but tell us in the comments. Do you have conversations about poop? Do you
I
pay
feel like-
attention to your poop?
I feel like if you're in a partnership or maybe you have like a companion that you're with a long time,
Mm-hmm.
that you definitely you have to have some type of conversation about poopy at one point or
Right,
another.
right.
I
And
feel
Papa
like-
always closes the door. Sometimes I will, but sometimes I've gotten into the habit of leaving it open only because I've had pets that want to be in there with
Yeah,
me.
you
Or when you guys were
children.
young and stuff like
I feel
that.
as a mom, well, like me and
As
I
a mom, you're willing to poop right in
Yeah.
public if you have to.
I
It's
feel like,
yeah.
yeah. I feel like growing up, we never did because we had such a small bathroom that was always having to be open. 'Cause
Yes.
someone had to use the washroom for like we'd all be in the bathroom,
Yeah.
going to the bathroom, brushing our teeth,
Yeah,
having
have
a shower.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you kind of get used to just
So
like
it's
this.
yeah, come on in.
Yeah, I used to have this no fear. So I think I got that training early before
Right.
we had kids, And then, like, obviously there were still times we closed the washroom just because.
Yeah.
And, like, but now it's rarely closed. Because partly, too, when the kids are potty training, we would keep the door open
Yep.
because, of course, you are there in there anyways. And, like,
Yeah.
I couldn't keep the bathroom closed even if I wanted to.
Yeah, yeah.
I close it now because I get a minute to myself. It's still they open the damn door. And if it's not them, it's the animals.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Scratching or knocking. It always happens.
exactly. I close the door now more.
Like they haven't talked to you at all for hours. You go to the bathroom, close the door.
I
Mom,
know.
Mommy.
Always when I'm in the bathroom, somehow they come and they sit on the tub. And it's always when I have to go to, like, the bathroom for the longest.
Yeah.
So, like, my stomach's
Yeah.
upset or whatever.
And you're
then
like,
well, yeah.
and they're
I'm
like,
just- I know. They have the iPad with the headphones. They've got their phone. They're sitting like,
like,
I want to
why
tell
are you in here?
I know. Like, I wanted to tell you a story. And the other one will just be there, like, listening. I'm like, what the? I'm trying to poop. Can we give a woman a moment?
Exactly.
It's like,
Can we not discuss this outside?
Yeah, it's like, is this not gross for you? Is that stinky? Do you just want to be here with me? It's like, don't you see
Yeah.
me enough?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I purposely close the door because I want a moment to myself.
And I want to make the ugly poop faces
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah, I want to have tears streaming down my face in private. Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I close the door now more that they're older than I did
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
Because, like,
yeah.
even when me and I were together, I'm like, oh, I didn't close the door
Yeah.
super often. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, whatever. But yeah, but at least he would come in there and be like, hey, let me sit and talk with you for a moment. And be
This
like,
is not the time to do
yeah,
that.
it's like, just leave me alone.
Just give me 5 minutes and then we can discuss.
And then the animals will be like, oh, we're all here for the poop party? I'm like,
Exactly.
no! Leave. Leave.
Yeah. Well, I read an article about why cats follow you into the bathroom and why they don't like it when you close the door, whether you're in the bathroom, bedroom, whatever door you're
Is this
closing,
some type
right?
of protective thing, or?
No, it's because they know all of this is their territory, their land. They own it. And if you close the door, they feel like you're saying you don't own this part.
Oh my god.
So they want to open it because, cats usually open the door angrily.
What are you doing?
It's like, this is mine.
Excuse me.
So that's why they do that.
That's
it's not
funny.
a security
It's a
thing like dogs.
territorial thing.
It's a territorial
This is
thing.
my shit here.
Yeah, and make sure you don't close that door and cut me off from my land, my property,
My space.
my space.
I don't want to be in here, but I have to be in here now to show you who's boss.
Exactly.
I know. Well, always too, I find as soon as you close the bathroom door or you lock the bathroom door, the kids always have to go to the bathroom.
Of course.
Like every time
Yeah.
comes home from work and he goes to his does his business.
Yeah.
It's always when the kids are like, I had to pee really bad, but they've been home for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it's like, you didn't have to go really pee this entire time. You just had to go pee really badly right now.
Yeah.
Just as he stepped in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Pulled his pants
It's
down.
now a trigger for them. Like as soon as they see him come home, I gotta pee.
Yeah. Oh, I have to pee so bad, Dad. Hurry up. And you could just, I'm sure he's just like, oh my God. I can't imagine just go poop for a moment
Yeah.
without having to rush through it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's better for your body anyways, not to stay on the toilet too long, but
No, but I mean, give you
give
say,
the man a moment
Yeah.
to finish his business.
give him a beat.
Every time. It's usually loose too. He's like, I have to go right now.
He should get in the habit of saying, Lucy, do you have to go to the bathroom?
We
And if she says no, then you call her on her shit.
Yeah, we used to be better. But then sometimes they would still be like, oh, I didn't have to go that minute.
That minute. The next minute, I have to pee like there's no tomorrow.
So this morning was tricky because we happened to all kind of get up around the same time. So I had to go up, went to the washroom.
Yeah.
Because he's usually the first one up.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm like, oh, I have to go to the washroom. So then I go, but then Lucy's up and she had to go to the washroom. When the animal was up, she had to go to the washroom. And I just like, well, you all have to wait. Mom goes first.
Yeah. The older bladder gets to go first.
Yeah, it's like, Mom needs to go now. And I don't need to get an accent on any of you. The rest of
No.
you can use the tub if you have to in a pinch. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not using the tub.
It's fun for kids, not for adults.
Yes, exactly. Oh dear. Yep. So we started it with bathroom talk.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants to hear, right?
Well, everybody poops.
Everybody does poop. Unless you
Everything
have
on the planet poops in some
yeah,
way or
in
another.
some way, depending on how you do it.
Yeah,
In the toilet, in a bag.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure there's other ways I
I
can't
was
think
reading in a book. This is not bathroom talk,
of. No.
but it was interesting because they went to Bulgaria in the book,
Okay.
And it's a really cool book. It's about like it.
Bulgaria.
Well, it's about vampires,
Oh,
right?
cool. Okay, that is cool. Not that Bulgarians are cool. Just
And so they were in Transylvania and all those kind of places, right? And they're actually looking for Dracula himself.
ooh.
And it's called The Historian. So he's,
Oh, I've heard about that book recently.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been
and-
around for a while, but
it has been, but and you know, like I'm not super into vampires, but it's such a great book if you're a book lover.
okay.
Because they talk about, you know, documents and scrolls and books, and they're always in libraries because they're doing research. And I'm like,
Add that book to
oh
my
my
TBR.
god, yeah, it's like, oh, it's awesome. And so, anyways, they go to Bulgaria,
okay.
and apparently, now I don't know if this is true, but this
She's
is
just
what the
reading it in
book's,
a book,
reading it in a book.
so she's taking it as truth.
Well, I'm just
Because
like,
books
this is,
never lie.
this is an interesting little tidbit, if it's a fact, is that in Bulgaria, they do the opposite with their head of yes and no. So if they're doing this, it's yes.
I've heard about some places about that. I don't know
And
if
this
I've
is
heard
no.
specifically about Bulgaria.
Yeah.
But I have heard that some places. I mean, that's similar to like, you know, handshakes are in play in some places,
Yeah.
right? And I can't think of
showing the bottoms of your feet.
palms of your feet. Even giving the finger in some places is not like offensive, or pointing
Oh.
your finger or doing your ring. Like there's certain
Like
hand
if
gestures.
you point, that's
a rude thing.
but this is not.
Yeah.
I'll point with this finger.
I had a teacher that did that.
Oh gosh.
I always wondered. I'm like, but no, granted, I sometimes do it too, unconsciously.
Yeah,
and I
like,
wonder, like,
I'll
is my
sometimes be
subcon-
going down a list and
I know.
using my middle
And
finger.
sometimes I wonder, like, am I subconsciously doing this? Like, is there a
And
reason?
who am I telling to fuck off?
Yeah. Well, I do sometimes point for people, so I'm like, am I saying fuck off to them? I always wonder, like, oh, my teacher used to do. I'm like, is he unconsciously telling me to fuck off or consciously telling me to fuck off? I don't want to be a fucking teacher. Or is it just something that felt natural, so you just do it? Because I do
Yeah.
it without even thinking. And I'm like,
Right.
well, fuck. How the tables have turned.
Yes, yes. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and I'm like, I could not get used to that because, of course, we were brought up in our culture to this is yes and
Yeah.
this is no.
I'm sure you would get used to it eventually, but you probably have a hard first year learning curve until
Yeah.
until you start like.
But it's
your brain-
amazing what you can get used to because then you go back out into your country or whatever,
Oh,
and you
God.
have to relearn that this is yes and this is no.
Yeah.
Your head just wobbles around.
Was that a yes or no?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Where am I?
I don't know where I am today.
Like on the Birdcage where Nathan Lane was saying, I don't
Yeah.
know what our last name is until I know the country we're in.
Until someone says it.
Exactly. Oh my god, that was such a great movie. Really good movie. It's
Yeah.
sad about
Oh, Gene Hackman
Gene Hackman. Thank
and
you.
his wife. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That when I saw that first, I was like, it has to be a joke. Like,
Right, yeah.
Like I was like,
Because I
this
went
has
to
be-
Snoops to see, you know, like, because sometimes they'll say a celebrity's dead and they're not really dead.
Yeah. You've seen those things where like, oh, it's just a hoax or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, that can't be right. Like I know he was older.
Yeah,
So I was like, well, that, you know, it's not completely plausible.
yeah.
But for some reason, I was just like, no, like, I don't believe
But
it.
it was weird because his wife and him were dead and they'd been in there about a week.
Yeah. I think eventually they figured, I think I saw something, don't quote me on this, because there's lots of things and you're only hearing snippets and then who knows the reality.
Right.
But I heard something. At first, initially, it sounded like he died and then she died. But then I heard something, because like,
it's the opposite.
yeah, that's
actually.
like, yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. I heard something recently. It was actually the opposite, that she died and then
Because I guess she had a heart attack or something like that.
yeah,
And she died. And I guess Gene Hackman had dementia
oh,
really bad. So that's why he wasn't out in public. And apparently he was just eating like bread and drinking some water.
oh my god,
And he just eventually died because of the dementia.
yeah,
Because he wasn't in the right mind, obviously, and he didn't realize that she was dead and didn't realize you should call somebody.
yeah.
you
This
know.
wasn't like, and who knows where he was in his head at that time,
Yeah,
right?
Right. Because apparently, from what I've read, he had it pretty bad. So there weren't a lot of lucid moments anymore. You know, because
That's
sometimes
so
at the beginning
sad.
you get some lucid moments.
What a
but
terrible,
yeah,
terrible. And
It's
apparently one of their
horrible.
dogs passed too because it
Yeah.
was locked in the kennel.
Yes.
Like the other two were out, but the one unfortunately was not. And
Yeah.
he obviously, like, she obviously had a heart attack before, obviously laying that dog
Yeah.
out. And probably Jean obviously didn't even
didn't
know or
even know
think or
to-
remember.
Yeah.
Oh, what a terrible.
It's such a tragic
It is
kind
a,
of story.
It is a very tragic, terrible.
Yeah.
What
Because
a,
he knew not to go out of the house, apparently.
well, at least that's something. Although in some ways that probably would have been.
Almost better. But
Almost.
who knows where he would have wandered off to
Well, yeah.
and gotten lost and
Who knows? Probably could have died in a worse way potentially.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what would have
And
happened.
it's so interesting because he was such he was always a tough character, right?
Yeah.
And like, just to think of him so lost in his mind that, these terrible things happened,
Yeah.
and he couldn't do anything to stop it or help
Yeah.
it or, report it to the right authorities or
Yeah.
whatever, right? And I don't know about his
I'm
daughters.
surprised though why, if like I obviously don't know the health of the wife,
Yeah.
and obviously she was clearly his caretaker.
Yeah.
But like my concern is like why did like even at his level of
Fame.
like fame, but also at his level of like if he was that severely like
Oh yeah, why
ill.
doesn't he have a PSW or something
some type
coming
of nurse
in?
that comes in because oftentimes like you want to have some type of relief for
Yeah.
the wife or partner, whoever the caretaker is,
Yeah.
and so they usually have someone coming in
And she wasn't like
consistently.
she was quite a bit younger than him, but she wasn't a spring chicken.
no,
I
but
mean,
she shouldn't have been like to the point of like
But-
you know
for that sort of thing, normally you have someone that comes in that's younger,
Yeah.
that helps to bathe the patient, and
it does a lot of other things. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm kind of like why what
because it
happened
was
there?
their gardener that found them.
Yeah, so
He
like
saw them in the window,
what the hell? So that makes me wonder like why did they not have a nurse
or
And if
even a
not,
housekeeper.
a housekeeper, someone like they obviously like they had a gardener, so they like
Yeah,
what
but
the
like,
hell?
how could they be in there for a week, give or take?
That's what makes me like what the
and
what the-
nobody but the gardener noticed.
yeah something doesn't
When
seem,
he said the gardener was the one that found them, I was like,
Something
so the
doesn't-
gardener with the rake in the library? It reminded me of Clue.
that's so funny, but that doesn't like that just make that kind of that seems sus.
Yeah,
That
very
part
sus.
seems sus to me.
But
like,
maybe they had cut themselves off because I
Yeah.
know Gene Hackman had really stepped out of the spotlight sort of on purpose from what I've read. So I think it was at the beginning of his dementia because he didn't want the
anyone
world
around.
Yeah, that's sort of like Bruce Willis, right?
Yeah.
Like, his story is really sad
Yeah, it
too.
is.
Because he can't communicate at all anymore.
No.
And he used to be a very avid reader.
Oh, that's would be so hard. I feel like that. I feel like losing like your mind and control of like
Yeah.
function. I feel like that would be the part I'd struggle with.
Well, and I always wonder, is Gene Hackman, is anybody with dementia or those kind of
It's
diseases
still really there.
inside going, I'm here,
Oh,
kind of thing.
that
Like,
feels worse.
like, does your brain become your own prison?
I would hate that.
I know,
I'd
it's
want
torture,
someone-
right?
I
Like,
would want someone just to be like, and end her life peacefully.
It's like, do not resuscitate. Take brick to head if I have
Yeah.
a dementia or
If
whatever.
I cannot communicate with you anymore, I can't do the things I love, and I'm just basically
just take a pillow and
I'm just breathing, and I'm just like existing.
just end it.
Just end it. Just
Because I mean, they say dementia and Alzheimer's and things like that are more than the patient that's sick, because it affects,
it affects everyone,
and it truly does. But
it's a long grieving death process.
it is, yeah. And I hope to God they're not aware of what's going
Yeah.
on, the patient themselves, right?
Yeah.
That they are losing their mind and they just don't know. Because I mean, a lot of people with mental health issues, like the big ones, not depression, is definitely one that's come out of the closet, which I'm very happy for. But bipolar and schizophrenia are still very much in the closet. Sometimes they peek their head out, people go, nope.
Back away.
But I mean, leading up to the full blown, like a psychic break or whatever, the mind control that person has to have over their mind, because I've talked to a few people that have had or
Yeah.
that have schizophrenia, and they have said, like, I can see it coming.
Yeah, it's a very that
And
would
that's
be very
gotta be-
draining on a person.
Yeah, and that's gotta
'Cause you
like
kinda
scare the
know.
shit out of you because it's sort of like I have a demon following me, and
It's like I know
I-
that probably this isn't real, but it seems real, and I'm
Yeah.
not 100% sure if it's not real.
yeah, right,
Or
and
you're hearing
and they're
things
still
or-
functioning like they've still got a job or they're still like part of their family,
Yeah.
and they're not like maybe they're a little weird, but they're not like
Well,
full
I think
blown.
anyone would feel a little weird when
Well,
you
of
have
course, yeah.
voices telling you things all the time, or you see things coming towards you. Like,
Yeah.
I would be weird too.
and you don't always know if it's like, is this just part of my mental health or am I
Yeah.
actually really hearing this?
Yeah, I saw this guy on Instagram, and I think he has schizophrenia, and I think he has visual hallucinations. I think I feel like I saw a really short snippet. But he actually had a therapy dog, which I thought was really interesting, who's trained to greet people that are there.
Oh, okay.
So that way, that's a way for him to know.
That that's a real person.
Yeah, like is my dog responding? Because if they're not greeting them, then I know that like
what I'm seeing on the wall is not
Yeah,
a
what
real
is-
person, or this person walking through my door
Yeah,
is a real
because
person.
in the video they're recording, they're like talking to this person, but then they look down at the dog and like realize like, okay, something like you're not responding to this like person that I'm seeing.
Oh, okay.
So clearly like they're not here. And I've seen sometimes some videos too of other people who have schizophrenia or like experience hallucinations, and they'll take a video out to be like, I'm recording to see if there is someone here. So that I can watch and verify, like, is there someone actually here, or am I just like,
Yeah,
is that
is this
just
a
my-
part of my schizophrenia?
yeah, it's just the
Right.
hallucination right now happening.
Right.
And I'm like, it's kind
Because
of interesting
you're-
that we have those tools available to us, and I wish it was more available, of course.
Yeah, because
Or-
that's a great technique of both of those because, like, I know when I had my panic attacks, and I don't know if you remember because you helped me through them a lot.
Yeah.
My panic attack always went to the farm is on fire, right? And I have to get home because the farm's on fire. And it felt real to me.
Yeah.
And so when people talk to me about some of their things that they have going on in their head or
Excuse me.
whatever, I'm like, no, I understand. Like
yeah, it feels legitimately real.
yeah. So I get it. Like, and for a schizophrenic person to be able to go through life and function like I'm using normal in a very loose sense,
Yeah.
in a normal way.
Atypical.
Yeah.
Or a typical, like near typical way.
Yeah. And I'm like, the strength of mind
Typical.
that you have to have in order to be able to function so people don't look at you and go, you're crazy, you know? It's like, wow. Because it doesn't always stop the hallucinations. Like, they're still, like, maybe that person's still there talking to
You
them.
just have to be like, I know you're not real,
Yeah.
even though I see you and I hear you.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you're just something my brain's doing.
Yeah.
And I have to just kind of ignore you and
Because one
continue
thing
on my day.
I've helped people through, because I do a lot of training, like I'm a tarot card reader, but tarot cards are really just hard conversations to have about goals, about, where your strengths and weaknesses are, and bringing awareness to these kind of things. So I deal fairly often with people having those intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts are a normal thing.
Yeah, they are a normal thing, but sometimes people feel like, am I going crazy? Because sometimes they're sort of a repetitive, always coming in, and then of course you get trained to always let them in,
Yeah.
right? And so it becomes a norm for you. But I often tell people how to negate that so that it's like, when you try to push it out and go, it's not real, sometimes the resistance makes it stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So often a technique that I've used with my clients is, if a thought like that comes in, and there's no judgment. Like, people have told me, I think about murdering this person. I don't want to murder this person, but this intrusive thought is coming
Yeah.
in. Or what if I hit someone with my car? Like, you
Yeah.
get ridiculous, right? And I'm
Sometimes it get pretty weird, yeah.
yeah, it can get really weird and really dark.
And you're like, oh, this is really fucked
And
up.
and this is the person that would never kill anybody or hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But this intrusive thought is coming in. So they think, am I a bad person?
Yeah.
And first of all, you're not a bad person. Second of all, just tell the thought it's silly.
Yeah.
You're silly.
Yeah.
It's a silly thought.
Yeah.
Because if you add that sort of ridiculousness to
Yeah.
it
like in Harry
weakens it.
Potter, when they're like at the oh god, what is it called now? I can't remember, but they're like doing like the spell to make it funny, so their fear isn't actually isn't actually scary. It's funny.
Yeah, when you make it funny, then it can't be scary.
It doesn't
and
hold power over you in the same way.
Exactly, and there is no pushing it
You're
out,
not resisting.
and so it doesn't create a stronger anti-resistance from the thought.
Yeah.
right?
Plus, it's also too just being like, okay, I understand I have that thought, but you know, I don't actually think that. I'm just thinking that in the moment. It's just an intrusive thought. Let it run over you and just let it go.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah,
It
and
happened.
It
It's
doesn't
gone.
make you a bad person.
No.
You're not actually going to act on the
No.
thought, and it's right now. It's a thought.
It's
right?
a thought. And once you start to like maybe put actual effort into the thought, if you start to
taking
plan, researching, then maybe that's
when
when
you got duct tape and plastic bags in your trunk, maybe you need to.
when there's like there will be other signs, and if you know that maybe then you're like, I should probably go and get this checked out.
yeah, exactly.
Which I know is scary because, of course, you always get scared of like what could happen if I, tell people.
Yeah. And
Ugh.
and it, like as much as they say people are like we're more open to stuff and la la la, they're not. Like because like on a job interview, your brother, my son, said something about an illness that he had, just to be cards on the table,
Yeah, up front.
and he knew that he didn't get the job because of it.
That's terrible.
And it's like as understanding as they appear to be, they aren't. They
No.
do judge.
Yeah.
And it's like why?
Yeah. God
like,
forbid you need a little assistance.
well,
or-
it's sort of like the ex-cons that come out of prison and they have a hard time getting a job because they're an ex-con. It's like they've served their time to society. They hopefully have corrected themselves.
Yeah.
And now they want to be a contributing citizen to the community.
Yeah, especially depending on this, like what the crime was. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like I can get why some crimes are like, I don't know, it really well worked that
Well,
person.
yeah, and that's
But,
why
like-
people that murder go in there for life. They're not
Yeah.
out in 10 days.
Well, I was thinking like more sexual assault too.
Yeah,
'cause, like,
sexual
that's-
assault is definitely up there with, there's rape, murder kind of things. And
Yeah.
pedophilia,
because
of course.
like those people don't go in for as long for those things.
No, that's true. That is
But if
true.
it's like, maybe you sold some drugs or you did some petty theft, I feel like
Yeah,
I don't know.
10 years.
I don't feel like that's as like I feel
Yeah, the
like,
jails they say are full of drug offenses,
yeah, a
and-
lot of minor ones.
and a lot of them are, like you said, minor, and they're overcrowding in the prison because
Yeah.
of that, right?
And, I mean, there should be other people that should be in there. We're just gonna
Yeah,
put that
right.
out there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't want drugs on the streets, obviously. but-
Yeah, there's obviously harm to do that. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
In my mind, now you may not agree with me, and that's okay. I'm kind of like, what if we legalized all drugs? Because adults are going to do them no matter what.
yeah,
If we legalize them, then there would not be the crime, right? Decriminalize it so that you're not overfilling the jails when some of these people need treatment.
yeah.
And also it's being regulated, the drug now, a little bit more. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I get it, like
I'm sure there's pros and cons. I don't know
there
enough.
are pros and cons.
I don't know. I wouldn't know enough to be like, have like a concrete opinion.
But I think that, people that want to do heroin or ecstasy or whatever it is, they're going to do it regardless. So why not have it so that as a community we can regulate it? And, it's just like alcohol. There's alcoholics out there.
yeah.
And you can still buy alcohol. They will cut you off if you come in drunk to buy a bottle.
Well,
of-
but people still find loopholes. I think
they
the thing
do,
is there's
they
always gonna be
do, but they don't go to
loopholes.
jail because of being drunk. I mean, yes, you can,
Well, you can go
drunk
to-
and disorderly,
I was
or
gonna say you can go to
but
jail
you're
for
going
being-
overnight in the drunk tank to dry out a bit. And
Well,
then,
that depends on what you've done, though. If you've done other
of
crimes,
course, yeah,
while being
yeah,
intoxicated.
yes, you can have like a lot of crimes slammed at you for being drunk, but the drunk and disorderly kind of ones, they usually like will put you in the drunk tank.
Yeah.
And you're out by the morning, feed you some coffee, go home kind of thing. Like I said, I don't think being a drug user should be as criminalized as it is.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people that use drugs on a regular, especially some of these harder drugs, need help as opposed to prison.
Yeah, I feel like we could decriminalize the like. I guess like they already have like certain decriminalizations for like certain amounts. Like if you're just
Oh, okay.
like recreational versus just distribution.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I mean,
think
that's
that's
different.
fine. I feel like it's still mindful to be like have like, and a lot of times people who go to jail for well, I'm sure not lots, but lots of people go to jail for drug stuff. It's not so much the drugs; it's what they did while on drugs.
Yeah, like if they stole because they're
Stole because they needed
property.
yeah, and like I don't think that would go away even if you legalize the drugs, really, because people are still going to do that. People who are drunk, who are alcoholics, do
yeah.
that stuff too. But I don't know. I guess it just depends. I once again, I feel like I don't know enough to be like one way or the other.
Well, it would take it out of the shadows a little bit, I think.
I think yeah. I think the problem is though that people like you also have to think too. I think it's still good to have criminalization for like drug distribution,
Sure.
but I don't
yeah.
think recreationally if
But
it's a small.
it's also a criminal offense to distribute alcohol if you don't have a license.
Yeah.
Right? And same thing like when cigarettes went way up and there was a black market for cigarettes. If you got caught
You
doing
get in
that,
trouble.
yeah. So I mean, it's all on the same level as far as I'm concerned. Whether you're drugs, alcohol, or cigarettes, you don't distribute those
Yeah.
things, right?
I think also just be careful because like obviously there's a market for illegal drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and if the government were to take everything, I don't think this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
But if you were to take all the things that basically criminal empires use to make money, what are they going to then do instead? Right? They'll always find something worse. So human trafficking will probably get worse.
Oh, that's
and that's
yeah.
already bad enough. Like I mean, that's already horrific. Like it's already worse than it was.
Yeah.
So I just keep thinking to myself, what will be the next worst thing
right.
they
right.
take on? So I feel like decriminalizing like recreational use of people who obviously are just addicts should be kind of decriminalized.
Well, I mean,
and-
at the same time, when marijuana now you can buy in stores and it's all regulated, blah blah blah. So a lot of people that distributed marijuana just don't do it anymore because it's just not
Yeah.
worth it, right?
But then what are they doing instead, though? I mean, I'm sure some have cleaned up their
I've heard
acted.
some just don't do it anymore,
and yeah,
and you know, and now mushrooms are becoming
the mushrooms are the thing. Yeah,
yeah, like, but they're also becoming into retail store establishments. There's one downtown that distributes it because they're, you know, doing a lot of scientific studies and there's a lot of pros.
I also went downtown closed because it's technically not legal.
Well, they're pushing to make it legal. There's a big push.
I mean, mushrooms are probably better than other things. So
Yeah, right, and you know, like the ayahuasca and all that kind of stuff, right? So I don't know, like, I mean, that's obviously a big debate for a lot of people.
yeah,
And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying, you know, this decriminalizing
I
it.
definitely think of decriminalizing it for the addicts and people who are just using it. I think is a valid thing
Yeah,
for sure.
and you know, like, take it baby steps from there to see what's better, because we can't base laws on what criminals will do.
Well, yeah,
Because, you know, criminals will be criminals and they'll always find something. Will it be worse? I don't know. Will it take down their kingdoms? I don't know. Maybe it
Yeah.
would, you know, like,
Yeah.
maybe it would have a positive effect, and this just isn't worth it anymore. Because, I mean, cocaine, for instance, has been around forever, right?
Yeah.
The plants that they grow. And I know when Christopher Columbus first came to the New World and they had enslaved a lot of the natives and put them to work, they would chew the cocaine leaves of the plant
oh, lovely.
to make them keep going.
Oh my God,
Right.
That's terrible.
It is terrible, but the people knew to chew this to take some of the pain away and to be able to, you know, hit the demands that the white man wanted from them. So yeah, we're horrible to each other.
Well, yeah, I mean that's continuously proven through.
I know,
everything.
and it's like, what makes you want to be like that, you know?
Power, greed,
I
all
guess,
the
but
things.
like, is it worth the power
To
to
people that
like
is.
to destroy your soul so that you can be in power? And I'm not saying everyone in power has destroyed their soul, but some of these cartels and criminals.
I don't think you can have power without losing your soul. To be honest, to some degree, I
yeah.
think like all organized structure
having
of
authority
any
is
kind.
different than having power.
Well, that's different. Yes.
Yes.
But when you're thinking about these people who are in power, who are making changes and doing horrible things,
Yeah.
they are not just an authority figure, but they are
Yes.
in power.
No, absolutely.
And so I think
sometimes
all-
they've been given authority, but they also have that power complex coming in.
Yeah.
Which is what destroys your soul.
I think anything that has to do with any organized anything
Oh yeah.
is corrupt by
Everything
by
brings-
nature.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like when unions first started, they were a great thing, but now there's a lot of corruption.
I think everything can be corrupted.
Oh,
And then anytime
absolutely.
you
If man is in charge of it, it's corrupted. Like look
Yeah.
at the kingdoms of the past and the wars of the past and the religions of the past. And
a lot of things start with good intentions, but
They
then
do. They
it
do.
really only takes even just one bad seed. I hate to say that, but like one person to decide to like disrupt the whatever the good deed of what it was to be.
who is maybe charismatic enough to have people that go, yeah, they're right, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, like, because look at Hitler, right? Like, he hit the German people at just the right time.
Yeah, well, because they were looking for help and they were in a
Yeah.
bad place, and
Because
someone
the
said they
world
could
was
help.
really hard on them after
Yeah,
World War One.
well, their economy was going down. They weren't liked
everything
by
was-
anyone.
Yeah, exactly. They were bust as
They
far
were-
as money goes. And
Yeah, like there was a lot of. They were basically a big vulnerable population,
Mm-hmm.
and it was able to have someone sweep in to. But like I don't know.
and things sounded good at first. Now, I'm not saying, you know, like, not all Germans agreed with Hitler.
No, just like there's not going to be, but enough to obviously make it a situation that
But
happens.
Hitler got in power, and then he made it so he was a dictator.
Well, yeah, well,
And no one could get him out.
yeah. Well, we're watching history repeat itself.
I know, right? It's like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be like anti the man, or anti-establishment. I feel like sometimes I'm like,
anti-man.
you know, a little bit to a degree. I do think there is validity in it, and I think we can make change. But
And actually, I just watched the Barbie movie last night.
oh, it's a good movie.
It is a good movie, and it's interesting to see the dynamics between male, female, you know, because the Barbies were all in charge
Yeah, and then
of Barbie Land, and it was hilarious. It was so funny too, right? And like they're all named Barbie. Hey
Yeah.
Barbie,
Hi,
hi Barbie. And then all the Kens are
Hey,
Kens,
Ken, hey, Ken.
except for Alan.
yeah. Hey, Alan.
And Michael Cera's perfect for
Yeah,
an Alan.
he did a good job with Alan. He
Yeah.
was funny. He made me laugh.
And Ryan Gosling did a great job as Ken.
yeah, they all did.
Yeah.
Everyone in that movie did a good
And then
job.
the Barbie, she's from Mom.
Is that the mom? Oh.
No, she's one of the, like, they're all recovering alcoholics, and she's the really rich recovering alcoholic.
Oh, so I haven't watched.
Yeah, so if you watch that, you'll know who Barbie is.
Well, she's from a lot of other things.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I was gonna
but
say, I
that's
don't know if
one
that's
of her bigger ones.
Well, Wolf on what is it? Wolf on Wall Street. I'd say one of her bigger ones.
Right.
And
As far as movies go,
as
yes.
movies, and I
Yeah.
didn't even know she did TV. I've only
Yeah,
seen her in
yeah,
movies.
she
I
was
think
on
she
the
also
series
does
Mom.
Suicide Squad. She's in the Joker movie. Like
Yeah,
she's
yeah. That's the same girl? She's,
It's Margot Robbie who's Barbie, and she's like
and she also does,
she's
Harley Quinn?
Harley Quinn.
oh, is she really?
She's Harley Quinn. Yeah,
I did not realize that. Because I've watched those movies. I like them.
yeah. That's where I think where more people would know her from, to be
Oh,
honest,
okay.
than Mom.
Okay, I didn't even put the two. Obviously, she looked quite different to me.
Well, she had makeup on, and
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
looked like
so-
Harley Quinn,
Yeah,
or they're styling for her.
yeah. I love that she's the atypical Barbie. Is that
Yeah.
what they called her.
Oh, you're thinking. Oh, okay. Are you thinking of like what's her face from? Okay, because they're all named Barbie. Are you thinking about the weird Barbie?
No. Yeah, I love the weird Barbie.
Oh, but you're thinking of her like just the
But-
normal like
But
regular.
yeah, because she was the original Barbie.
Yeah, she was the original.
So
Yeah,
they
that's-
called her the
that's a
atypical
Yeah.
Barbie kind
Right.
of thing, right? Because there was all kinds of different Barbies. Like, and then I love that Madge was the pregnant Barbie, and
Oh, God.
we tried to discontinue her because that was weird.
Yeah.
And then there was the Barbie that her boobs blew up.
Oh my God.
Puberty Barbie, I think.
They had like a lot of weird Barbies.
They
It's like,
did.
and
And
it's
they
like-
were
and
like
they're
off
all
in the
like just
like the misfit toys.
yeah, some weird ones.
But Kate, whatever her name is from SNL that did Weird
yeah,
Barbie.
weird Barbie.
Oh,
did a
she
good
does
job.
such a great job
She's
on
funny.
anything that she does. It's hilarious. And I love that she, was doing everything in splits. And then she's standing there at one point and her foot's like up where her
Yeah.
head is.
I like it though because it's totally what you would do with a Barbie. Like
When they
Yeah.
said splits, I'm like, oh, so many times I did splits
Oh,
with my
splits.
Barbies.
well, even like the kids got the Monster High dolls and they're just Barbies.
Yeah.
But dressed differently. And I was like, meh, meh, meh. Like all I would do exactly
How
what
far can you take it?
yeah, it's like I can move you in ways I could never move my own body. So let's push the limit.
And I love that even when she took her shoes off, she was
Oh,
up
she
on
was still do, do, do,
tiptoes.
do, do.
And
And then
that's what
once she gets to the real world, she finally puts her feet down. She's like, whoa.
she can barely
Walk.
walk. It's like, this is weird.
Mermaid legs.
And they're in the our real world, and she goes up to these guys. She's like, "I have no genitals, and neither does he." And Ryan, of course, always had his shirt open.
Yes.
because of course Ken, never has a shirt that
Yeah.
goes up.
Yeah, always a vest, even just showing off. Like, that was the most he wore.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think the most he wore actually was the 80s, like, zip
Oh
up.
yeah. And when
Even
they
that, he
first
still had it cut
came
down.
into the real world, and they're both dressed alike.
Yeah.
in the neon.
It was a look.
Yeah, and he thought horses and men were the rulers of the real world.
I know. He's like, look at all this.
Yeah. Look at all the horses. And then on the
Why
TVs in
they-
Barbie Land had nothing but horses all the time. When the patriarchy took over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was an interesting,
It's a good movie.
interesting
Makes you think.
statement on the extremes of male versus female and
Feminism.
feminism,
power structures. and-
Yeah. So when she went to the real world and she's like, they're going to just love me and hug me for all the things I've taught them to do. And it's like, you're not even close.
No. Literally didn't like Barbie.
And Barbie and all her jobs.
Yeah. Scientist, doctor,
Astronaut,
astronaut,
uh,
pilot,
pilot, race car driver.
race car driver. I always laugh because like the girls were like, if you've ever watched on Disney, not Disney, on Netflix, they have the Barbie Dream House, which is such a funny show. Like it's a really good show if you want to watch something with kids, but it's good for an adult. It's hilarious.
Okay. I've never checked it out.
Oh, but Barbie, of course, she goes through her closet at one point to try and get rid of it, and it goes through all the various jobs she's had. And she's got all these licenses, and she's like, well, like it's like all these things. Like, well, yeah, I was this, and I was that, and I do this, and this. Like, where do you find the time?
Yeah, exactly. She's a doctor, lawyer,
And
vet.
Ken's, of course, a bit of a dope in that show.
Yeah.
Ken's always a
He
bit of a dope.
beaches.
Yeah,
There might be beach there. You might need me to beach.
yeah.
Because he doesn't surf. He's not a lifeguard. As he pointed out, that's often a misunderstood thing about him is that he's a lifeguard. He's like, no, I don't lifeguard. I just beach.
Do the beach, like the beach, go to the beach. Tan at the beach, go on the beach.
So ridiculous.
I love the like look of when they did the water though, like to make it look
Yeah.
more Barbie-esque. Like, oh my god, they did such a good job. Like
They
the mermaid
did.
Barbies.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
They did a really good job, yeah.
They did.
We watched it because when Downtown did like the Barbie, when they did the Barbie night, because for one of the movies they did in Market in the Square was Barbie.
Oh, okay.
And we hadn't seen it, and because I wasn't sure if it was appropriate for kids.
Right.
We didn't know. And then so we went downtown to do the stuff, of
Yeah.
course, for part of it. And we didn't really watch the movie because it's I don't know. Just we did it. But when we got home the next night after talking to some people, like, oh no, it's okay for kids. It's like there's not really anything inappropriate. So we watched it. There wasn't anything like
No,
super
no, there wasn't.
inappropriate for kids. Like, and most of the stuff that is, they would
It
would-
flew over their heads.
they would wouldn't get it. And the kids loved it. They're like, this is so funny. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, because it does have like enough adult stuff in it that adults can appreciate it, and the statements they're making that, you know,
Yeah.
I didn't think they were preachy over the top.
No.
They weren't subtle, but they weren't preachy over the top either.
Yeah.
They were just, let's examine what the world looks like with men in charge. Let's examine what the world looks like with women in charge. And these are dolls we're looking at. Right?
We're looking at children's dolls. No, they did a really good job.
And I love that it's like some of the Barbies had badly cut hair because of course their owners snipped off their hair.
It's like, oh my god, I remember doing that.
And I remember when Kate first comes out and she's got like all the bad makeup.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause that's what her little girl had done to her. It's like, yeah, weird Barbie. I'm sorry we called you weird behind your back and to your face.
It's okay.
Oh my god. And the way they drink. It was all fake.
Oh yeah.
And then when she goes to the real world, she's like, wow. And she tries to drink tea and she
Or
doesn't
like
have
even when
to.
they do the shower.
Yeah.
She was like the first time she's like,
Yeah.
like and like the closet, like just getting the outfit that she had to like put clothing on.
And Barbies don't do stairs. They just get put where they need to be. And she
Yeah.
would just jump off the roof. And
Ah. Yeah. They did a really good job. Like
they did.
yeah,
They
the
did.
kids liked it. I definitely wouldn't say like it's a kids movie per se, but
No.
kids can appreciate it for sure, depending on the age of your kid, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
But my kids liked it. They thought it was funny.
Yeah, if they understand, like, oh, these are Barbies and Kens, they, you know, most people know that they're dolls.
Yeah.
And there's no
There's a-
cartoon part, but it's cartoonish.
Yeah, it has a lot of physical humor.
It does.
That kids would probably appreciate.
Yeah, yeah, like when Ryan tries to go surfing and he just hits the hard waves because it's not a real ocean.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, he bounces right back.
They're driving in the car. Ah!
Yeah. Like, and she drives and she can take her hands
Yeah.
off the wheel completely and wave at everybody.
And like there's a weird montage of different like
Different ways to get into the real world.
Yeah.
Like- yeah, because it always starts with it was Will Ferrell that was in charge
yeah
in the
he's-
real world
yeah.
of Mattel.
Yeah, and they're like, why is a man in charge of?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, because they're all men at the table. It's like, well, what woman is in charge of this or this? CEO, CFO,
Yeah.
and
It's like you're all men. Like, this isn't right. And the scene when they're running around in the cubicles, like
yes. Yeah. And
there's just a lot of funny moments.
I think he said it always starts with rollerblading or something. It always starts with that to get back into Barbie, right?
Oh yeah,
You had to
go
rollerblade.
Yeah,
and then
because
you
they
had
all
to
get
do
they all get
the tandem
rollerblades.
bikes, and then they had to do boats, and then they had to do the car.
Right, I forgot there's different modes of transportation
Yeah.
too.
Oh dear. Oh, and the camper. They had to do
Oh,
at
the
one point the camper thing. And they always change clothes, of course. Each
Well,
time.
you have to match what you're doing. Yeah, because I know they wear like some type of kind of French like stereotypical outfit for the tandem.
I think so.
It's
Yeah,
like
the
in Paris or
berets
something in the
and-
background or something. I can't remember.
Oh, because they do a snowmobile and they all have the fuzzy boots on.
Oh yeah. I forgot all the different modes they do.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen the movie.
Yeah, well, it's fresh for me because I just saw it last night. And it just came up on Netflix, and I was like, sure, why not? Let's do this. And I wasn't sure. Like, I kind of held off on it. But no, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I
And-
liked it. I think I'm glad too I waited because then it wasn't so much on the hype.
Yeah.
So I was able to just appreciate for what it was and stuff. Being in the hype of it was good.
Yeah.
Because we watched it a bit later.
Oh, okay.
Probably like a year after it came out, maybe
Right.
a little less, but
Right.
we
Yeah,
weren't
because when
quite-
there's so much hype around a movie, sometimes it's hard
Not
to
so-
appreciate it.
it's not so good.
Because I remember Silence of the Lambs, one version of it, where Ray Liotta is in it.
Okay, yep.
So people were saying, "Oh, I barfed in it," and people were actually throwing up in it. 'Cause
Really?
It was really bad, right? Like, I don't want to give it away, but it's an older movie.
Like
so-
bad, like in graphic bad, or like graph bad, and like
well,
it
the
was
last scene, they're sitting at the dining room table, and Ray Liotta's like,
Well,
"Ugh,"
yeah,
and he's eating.
I know. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen
It's
that movie.
disturbing to
It
think
is.
about.
It is disturbing. You're right. It is. I don't know, but I don't
But
remember feeling the desire to
because
vomit.
there was so much hype around it, like, oh my god, it's so gross, you're gonna throw up, and people were throwing up, and people were like leaving early because they just couldn't handle it and all that kind of stuff. And I went in and I watched the whole thing, and when
That
it was
scene
revealed of what what was happening, I was like, oh my god, that is disgusting.
It is gross. It
But-
is really gross.
But I didn't like I can tolerate a lot apparently. I can eat my way through.
I don't know. For some reason, that
operations.
didn't bother me.
Yeah.
But it is gross.
It is gross.
I felt more gross when more disturbed by the Walking Dead episode when the cannibals take the guy's leg and eat the leg in front of him. That disturbed me more.
Oh yeah. That was a gruesome.
That I stopped watching
Yes.
after that. I was like, and I'm done.
Yeah, it was like whoa.
I was done.
I don't even remember the ending of this movie, but it was Tomahawk Bone or something. Or
Oh, I've heard. I haven't watched it, but I've heard some pretty. I don't.
that fucked me up.
I've heard some really terrible things about that. I'm like, in the sense of like, don't watch it. Like, I don't like horror. I don't like gore.
I do like horror. And it was a great movie until you realized what was happening. And I my brain won't let me remember even. I don't remember what it was.
Well,
I
good.
just remember that I was like, oh my God, I just got blindfolded. And
so many calls.
I know. I'm popular.
They're so popular with the spammers.
So, and I remember thinking, oh my God, that is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I've heard some terrible things like that. That's a really hard movie.
It's a very hard movie. You'll enjoy it till the end, but it's a very hard movie. Because, like I've watched a lot of horror movies, and I love the jump scares that they give you sometimes. Like, Marcel, my son, will be, oh, this is just a jump scare. I'm like, yeah, but those are fun.
I'd rather a jump scare than anything else. I'd rather just use.
It's like, people that like roller coasters.
Yeah.
They like the up and down. That's part of the
That's
fun.
the fun, yeah.
Right? So the jump scares are kind of fun. I love psychological thrillers that kind of...
Psychological thrillers are okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I love sci. If I'm gonna watch horror, it'll be sci-fi horror. I can get down anything sci-fi. If there's sci-fi on it, I can get down with it. Typically,
We just watched...
typically,
It was a sci-fi one. It had Lawrence Fishburne in it.
you
And
say names. I'm not good with names. That means literally nothing to me unless I really know the
and
actor. Actress.
Casey Affleck was the main guy. He's the brother of Ben Affleck.
Okay, now see, I say that I'm like, yes, okay, I know who you're talking about.
I knew
there.
that would trigger that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's...
Ironically,
three-
he's better looking, I think.
I know, right?
I'm like, he's a better looking one. He is. The
No
two-
offense to Ben,
Yeah,
but
he's not bad looking.
Casey's better.
Casey's, in my personal opinion, he's a better looking one
Yeah.
for my preference.
Yeah. I think I if I had to pick one of the two to
Yes,
have
because
lunch
it's-
with.
Oh, okay. I was like, yes, so often we get the option
Yeah.
to be with celebrities.
Yes, exactly.
Look at us. We don't
I'd
even
rather
think they
have a
want us.
conversation with Casey, I think.
I don't know who to have a
I
conversation
mean, Ben
with.
would probably be very interesting
If I was
too.
just to stare at one, I would say Casey. I don't know
Stare.
about conversation.
Just stare while you eat your salad very
you just
slowly.
smile and look pretty, boy.
And you just go, hey, every once in a while.
Deep breathing.
I like your movies.
I literally can't think of a movie he's in though.
Ocean's 11.
Oh right. Okay, there we go. So she is on it.
Yeah, I am on it. So I can't remember what it was called. I want to say The Arrival, but that's not right.
That
It was a
was a good
sci-fi movie, though. I'll have to get the title and put it in the
Did you
comments.
watch the new Alien one, Romulus? It's on Disney.
I have not watched that
It was
yet.
good.
I don't
I
think.
liked it.
Oh yes, I did watch it.
I
was
liked it.
when it first came out, like on Disney.
Ah, yes.
But yeah, it was not bad.
I liked it. It could have been better.
Yeah, there were parts that were.
It could be better. I feel I did like it generally overall.
Mm-hmm.
It just could have been better. But I mean, it's
I mean,
Alien.
But also too, you're going up against the original Aliens
I think-
with Sigourney Weaver,
Exactly.
who was fucking amazing.
She was so good. I did like it. I feel like, or maybe
She's such a great, strong female character.
Or was it not that one that I liked? Because I feel like, or maybe it wasn't. I didn't like that one. I can't remember now.
Which one?
The Romulus. I can't remember. I feel like maybe I'm confusing it with a different one.
Mm.
Because I know me and I to watch a movie and I'm like, I didn't really like this. I was a little disappointed. And then we watch another movie and I was like, oh, I really like this. But the one movie we watched,
I think it was probably Alien. You were a little disappointed in because I know I was a little disappointed.
maybe it was that one. Because I feel like, I remember the one that we really liked was The Gorge.
The
That's
Gorge.
on Apple Plus, and it has, God, what's his name? I'm awful with names, but he's in so many things that I couldn't tell you right now.
So many great movies.
So many great movies.
that
He
I
usually
have
plays
seen.
kind of like an asshole character.
Oh,
And this one
okay.
he doesn't really play an asshole character, which is kind of interesting. But it has what's her face. Also can't think of her name.
What's her face?
What's her face? What's his face and what's her face? Very
Yeah.
popular people. But
Two actors
two
out of
actors.
Hollywood.
She's on that Netflix show that she plays chess.
Oh
Have you
yeah,
seen-
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit, and she's in some other things, but it's her and this other guy. That you know that drummer movie with John Malkovich, I think it is.
The drummer movie. I'm not sure.
He is like,
I know who John Malkovich is.
yeah.
I mean, who doesn't?
I'm pretty sure it's John Malkovich. It's in it with him.
I
He plays kind of
love-
an asshole in the movie.
Oh, okay.
A lot of his roles I find he kind of plays an asshole.
Okay.
But
okay.
in this role, not really. But anyways,
I gotta think that's a fun role to play. But sometimes when you get it over and over and over again,
are
it's
you
like,
just an asshole?
yeah.
Are you just
Are
an
you just
asshole?
really good as an
At
asshole?
playing-
Are you like
Because
because some
you're just-
actors you know they're playing themselves.
Yeah.
Even though they're in a
Vince
different
Vaughn's bit like
character.
that.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn can be like that. I love.
I do like Vince Vaughn though.
Me
Don't get me
too.
wrong. I think he's funny.
I think he's
But he's
hilarious.
very
I
like
love
type
his.
script a bit.
Yeah, and I love his tempo though.
Yeah.
You know, I love his tempo. John Malkovich is kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I love his tempo. I know a lot of people do Christopher Walken's tempo. I'm okay with it. Christopher Walken is always weird, but that's what he plays.
That's his
And that's
thing.
I'm okay with it.
I like
but
Christopher Walken.
I love the tempo that John Malkovich speaks with. I love the tempo that Vince Vaughn speaks with.
Yeah.
There's a few other actors out
There's
there that
others
I
that
like
like-
their tempo.
Yeah.
And because it's a little bit different, right?
Yeah. But anyways, that was a really good one.
Okay.
So I feel
The Gorge.
maybe it was the alien one that I didn't like, and I'm thinking of something else.
What was The Gorge about?
The Gorge? I don't want to give too much away because if you give too much away,
Yeah, yeah.
So it's basically like
Spoiler alert.
spoiler. So the girl,
Try not to do spoilers, but
the
yeah.
girl who so it's like the girl and the guy.
Yeah.
They're basically both essentially like in the military or part of the government of
Yeah.
some sort,
Right.
and they're isolated in these big towers on opposite sides. One side's American, one side's like
Oh,
Russia or something like
this
that.
is sounding a little familiar.
and they're just there to watch. And
okay.
it's very cloaked in mystery. They don't understand why.
Right.
They have to be there. They cannot talk to the other
I've
side.
seen trailers for
Oh,
it.
it's so good.
Yes,
I think,
and then the girl decides to come over, or vice versa.
well, something like that.
or
But
they start talking to
they
each other,
communicate.
and then they start making plans to let's get together.
yeah, I don't want to give it away, but I remember maybe because we came off a bad movie, but me and I were like, this is so much better.
Right.
I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was the alien one that I was like, oh, disappointed.
Because like, did you ever watch the series Man in the High Castle? No. That was a really good series, and the premise was, what if Germany had won World War II?
Oh,
So, what had happened in the series is they focused in on United States because
Yeah.
apparently Canada and Mexico don't even exist in movies.
Yeah.
But the East Coast part of United States was German,
okay.
and the Nazi thing was still happening, right?
Yeah.
And the West Coast side of United States was China had taken it.
Oh.
And in between, there was something that was
Canada just disappeared.
Canada just
Which is
disappeared.
weird because they film a lot of shit in Canada.
I know, right?
Like, but we don't exist. You seem to use our land a lot.
yeah, exactly.
But forget about us.
But there was a small strip in the middle that was kind of a no man's land.
Oh.
So, you could kind of escape into there or, whatever kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, so it was interesting.
Interesting. What's
Yeah.
this called again?
Man in the High Castle.
Mine on the High Castle.
So they were getting, like, the rebels were getting these messages from this man in what they called the High
High
Castle.
Castle.
And he was helping them to learn secrets about how to take down some of this stuff,
Oh,
right? So
damn.
there was definitely an underground sort of like
Rebellion.
movement. Yeah, exactly.
Love the Underground Rebellion.
Yeah.
We need one of those now.
Yeah, so if you're into that sort of thing, that's a really good series. I really
I'll have
liked
to
it.
watch that. We're right now watching Silo, which I'm like,
Oh yeah, I watched.
which I know
Silo.
you've watched.
Yeah.
We're still in the first season, I think.
Okay.
I think we're on episode 8 or 9. We normally I did are not we're not huge TV watchers.
Yeah.
But every night we've watched an episode of because we were like, well, we have to know what happens. Like,
Yeah.
I keep telling him like I just want to get to the end and know. Like I've never watched a show where I'm like I just need to know. Like just
Yeah.
get me to the end. I
Well,
want to
that's
know.
why we burned through it so fast because like we were like one more episode and we'll stay up past our bedtime.
See,
'cause
we
like-
we always just watch one because we are not big people. But the fact that we've been watching every night, like even
Yeah.
last night, we stayed up a little bit later and we
So you
watched
can-
our one episode.
Right.
And yeah, I mean we're big. Look at us watching one episode. Oh, hi.
Hi.
We have to be quiet.
All right. Well, I guess that's the end
That's
then.
the end.
Because my client is here. All right. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to like us,
Subscribe.
subscribe to our channel, comment below. If you're looking for us, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Just type in Goddess Garage, and you'll find us there.
Yeah.
So-
We're very happy people.
Yes. All
All
right.
right. Bye. Can I just X here?
Yeah.